It's senior night in Lexington, Kentucky for Katie Carlisle and Corey Reckenmacher. Friday Night Heights in the SEC. Hello, everyone, and welcome into Lexington, Kentucky Memorial Coliseum. I'm Clay Ables. Alongside me, Leah Little. The Kentucky Wildcats against the Ohio State Buckeyes. A big matchup tonight along the line for future Nationals SEC tournament. A lot here for both these teams.
The season is winding down. It's really important for all these teams. They're chasing the RQS, the regional qualifying score. Kentucky put themselves in a great position last week with that 197 score. If they can back that up again tonight, they're going to move on up in the rankings.
Both these two top teams, and we're going to start off tonight for the Kentucky Wildcats. They're going to be on the vault, which would be an interesting lineup for Kentucky. A big opportunity for them to get things going and going right to their leader, to Sydney Dukes.
Right. Kentucky's been a great vaulting team all year. They're ranked 7th in the country on this event. If they can put it together tonight and stick some landings, it's really going to improve their score.
So Kentucky will lead the way for us, and it'll be Sydney Dukes to start us off, the junior, with a very good start on vault this season, 9.75, and we're underway.
All right. Beautiful vault from Sydney. Way to start it off for the Cats. Sydney's from Texas, so that was a big Texas send-off.
She really got some great airtime there on the end as we get a second look.
Let's look at it again and watch the lift off the table. Beautiful tight legs together. Little hop, but they won't hurt her too much. Beautiful vault.
As we'll head over to the bars, Amanda Wong will lead the Ohio State Buckeyes. She got a 9.875 in the last victory against Bowling Green for Ohio State.
The Buckeyes are really up-and-coming team. They're ranked 21st right now and trying to put some big scores together here at the end to move on up. Nice handstand. Blind change into the release. Very nice. She has really nice lines, something the judges are always looking for. Nice, clean execution on the routine. Sitting up for the dismount. Full in. Very nice routine to start off for the Buckeyes.
As we go back and check out the dismount for the Ohio State Buckeyes, here's Wong.
See that release way above the bar. A little bit loose when she caught the bar, but very small deduction on that, way above the bar on the dismount. Very nice routine to start off. So we had two great routines leading off both teams.
Both these teams coming in red hot. Kentucky back on the vault, and it's Dana Davis out of Waldorf, Maryland. She solely goes in the vault throughout this season for Kentucky. Last match against Missouri at 9.825 on the vault. It's a solid starter for them.
Danae's had a great year. She is a vault specialist for the Cats, and hopefully she can put a big one together for them tonight.
So Davis second in the order for the Cats. On the vault as we line up here, Kentucky coming in off the win against Missouri last week on February the 23rd. Just inside the top 10 at that number 9 spot, trying to build up a solid score going into Nationals.
Here comes Danae. See what she can put up here. Beautiful, beautiful vault. All right, Cats are on a roll.
It's so crucial to have a hot start, especially you mentioned trying to go down that road this year. You need to build it up on the vault, and they do it right here.
When you're the home team and you vault first, you know, that's definitely where you want to pull out and put a big lead together going into the next 3 events, and Kentucky is well on their way. Slight flex in the knees there, but she had plenty of air time. Good vault. She'll get a nice score.
Here's Nevin Edmansky stepping into the bar. She got a 9.85 against Bowling Green in her last match. Career highs right at a 9.9.
Beautiful handstand there. That's something beautiful Tkachev release move. The judges want to see those nice tight handstands. The bail over the bar. Again, you see her stop just a little bit. You know, I really like to see, and the judges as well, that bar routine continue to move aggressively and dynamically. Nice routine, good stick on the dismount.
So a hot start for both squads here as we get a second look for Ohio State on the dismount.
That's it, Tkachev way above the bar, very nice. And let's see what she does here on her dismount. Again, watch for the release above the bar, legs a little bit apart there. So both teams on a roll, starting out hot, as you said, and it's going to be a great night, I think, here Friday Night Heights.
And if you're looking for someone to continue the roll, it's Alex Highland, who's had a phenomenal season for the Gym Cats.
All right, another great vault. You know, Alex won the vault against LSU, who's one of the top vaulting teams in the country, and she won that event down there. So she just put together a great stick, beautiful vault. Look at the squeeze of those legs together and a stick. Okay, great start for Kentucky here. They've nailed 3 vaults. We're on a roll.
As we go back to the bars, it's Alexis Mattern, who's been their star player on the bars this season for Ohio State. Been very crucial to this 5-match win streak, starting all the way back at the end of January.
If you can put 5 back-to-back wins in a row in this sport, that's saying a lot. Another beautiful release move. Seeing some very nice bar routines here from the Buckeyes. Nice execution, nice clean lines on all of their skills.
Wow. And she is pumped up.
I think they're happy. 3 in a row on both sides of the coin.
As we check back out on the dismount, she dominated this routine.
Beautiful. Let's watch the dismount again. Beautiful. They're sticking the landings tonight. That's what's so important.
They're working about as clean as you can right there as we head over to Katie Stewart back on the vault. 3 career wins on the vault, winning last time against Missouri with a 9.875.
Yurchenko, full, nice ball, little step there.
Keeping the strong performance going.
Check this out again. This is a round-off entry for those that are trying to learn more about the vault. So you actually tumble onto the table and then get some good air time and flip and twist.
So we'll go back over to the bars for Ohio State.
Sometimes our camera angle is a little bit different from the judge's angle, and you sometimes can't see that leg separation from the judge's point of view, so they don't always take that off.
As Apley gets ready to start, it's a very good point because a lot of things you can potentially mention. I know you talked about to me this year, the technique, people always looking for the flair, not exactly the technical skills that make the difference in the scoring.
Right. And you know, when you get teams like tonight where they're really close, what's really going to separate the two is that dynamics, the air time, the height on all of their skills, originality, and things that just set them apart from the other team. This is an outstanding routine. You mentioned she's been on a roll all year. A little short on that handstand. That'll cost her about a 10th. Nice dismount, but she took the step. So about 3/10 in deductions there that I saw at least. Beautiful release. She has 2 in her routine, so she'll score well for that. Here comes the dismount.
On the ball for the Cats, Aubrey Rosa.
Just got to get her chest up a little faster to stick that.
You see Aubrey Rosa going over to the vault. 1 career win against Arkansas back in early January. She got a 9.9. See if she can match that and continue the hot streak for the Cats.
As we mentioned, she tumbles in. All right, little step there. Now, when we watch the replay, I will point out something here. That ball didn't particularly rise off the table like the 3 before her, and we'll kind of look at that. Sometimes if you have a pen or a pencil, you can just watch where she back handspring on, and the ball didn't really lift off the table, but nice clean lines, little hop in the landing. She'll still get a good score for this.
Back to the bars for Ohio State, who's been on a solid roll thus far.
They've shown us some very good bar routines so far. Like I said, nice execution, good clean lines on everything they do. Beautiful release moves above the bar. Very clean. So let's see what Olivia can do here.
Jenna Schwarzenstruber will step
sorry.
up.
No, Jenna.
Hey, everybody's getting in order here. They've moved around the lineups a few times, but Schwarzenstruber with a 9.85 on the uneven bars against Bowling Green, career high, right at a 9.875.
little bit tall for a gymnast, and their center of gravity is higher off the floor, so it's harder for them to rotate. So I always admire, well, she's got some really nice moves here on the bars. Let's get ready for the dismount, double layout. That was a very nice routine. But what I was saying about that, because she is tall, it's a little harder for her to rotate than a short gymnast. So beautiful, beautiful. Another salto between the bars. And the double layout.
And we'll see Molly Korth step in. So look at what an impressive week she had last against Missouri. One of the top performers, now going out and leading the way in vault out of the 6th spot.
Molly was SEC Freshman of the Year last year, and that's the reason why. Came up just a little short on the landing, but other than that, a very nice vault for Molly. There you go. Beautiful 1.5. Just a little baby hop. I think the judges are going to like it. Kentucky had great vault rotation.
And here's the star performer for the Ohio State Buckeyes, Caitlin Hoffman. You see a low bar score there, but overall throughout her career, she's been very strong in the bars. A career high of a 9.925 and a great all-arounder.
Line change to the release, beautiful above the bar. Bail. And one thing for the young ladies that aspire to be this great on bars, especially, work hard to build up your strength, work on your execution. Just a little step there on her landing. That was a double front dismount. We'll watch it again on the replay, but it's a blind landing, so it's a very hard element to land. Here she goes on the release. Let's watch this. You'll see she rises above the bar. Beautiful double front. You can't see that landing, so you just have to kind of practice enough to know how to land it. It's very difficult.
And we'll finish with an exhibition for Ohio State. It'll be Peyton Hittenberger, who was on floor last week for Ohio State. She got a 9.75 on the floor, but I believe it's the first time this year she'll be on bars.
Well, we talked about it before, the exhibition routines, especially this time in the year. The coaches are trying to determine their lineups for their conference championships and for nationals and regionals. And, if you've got a kid that's number 7, could possibly make the lineup, this is a chance for them to get out there and prove to the coach that they're worthy of making the lineup. So it's a win-win for both the athlete and the coach to get to see them. Release move. We talked about before, everybody chasing this 197. You've got to be in that 49 range on all of your events to have a hope for that. So Kentucky has done that on the vault, and Ohio State showed us some very nice routines on the bars, so it's very close.
So a solid start between both teams of Ohio State, Kentucky. The Buckeyes off a 5-match win streak. The Kentucky Wildcats off winning against Missouri. We'll see a lot more here as we head to rotation number 2 from SEC Network. Live from Lexington, Kentucky. We'll be right back with rotation number 2. About to start rotation number 2 from Memorial Coliseum in Lexington, Kentucky. You're watching Friday Night Heights. Aaliyah Little alongside me. I'm Clay Abels. We'll go back and take a look at rotation 1. And Molly Korth really stood out there on the vault for the Wildcats.
She did. She has a great vault here with the Yurchenko 1.5. Just a baby hop on that landing, but it was a absolutely gorgeous vault.
For the Buckeyes, they were on the bars, and they were led by Jenna Schwartzentruber, who did a really good job posting a high score for the Buckeyes. She came through very strongly. As you look at the vault score for the Wildcats right there, Dana Davis with a 9.85. Korth just clipping her out with that 9.875 score. So mentioned on the bars, Ohio State came through very strong and did a really good effort of getting the team component to going together. 5 wins in a row they have coming into this one as we look back at the bars. Jenna Schwartzentruber, the very impressive score.
We talked about her when she was competing. She is a little taller, but she has beautiful lines, 2 release moves, the pack salto, double layout dismount. Absolutely great routine.
You see Niven Admitsky's number dropped on there as the rotation number 2 in Memorial Coliseum, the Ohio State Buckeyes versus the Kentucky Wildcats. We're going to start back on vault this time. For Ohio State, leading the way will be Caitlin Hofflin, as I mentioned earlier, one of the key performers for this Ohio State team. Had an incredible run on bars last week with a 9.925 that was 4th best in the country. She's also very strong on the vault as well, and she'll lead the Buckeyes.
Buckeyes start off with a Yurchenko full. Very nice vault. You know, Coach Polisivic was a 3-time All-American at the University of Utah in this event, so I would say they're probably going to be a pretty good vaulting team there.
Meredith Polisivic, the head coach for the Ohio State Buckeyes, from Utah, graduated back in '94, bounced around the country in the Pac-12, and she's done a great job overtaking this Ohio State team. As we go over to the bars routine, it's Katie Carlisle quickly moving over from vault in her senior night, performing strong.
Katie's got a good routine going. She can finish strong here. You always want those seniors to have a great finish. Absolutely perfect routine. Well, we'll see what the judges think. But great job for that senior to finish out on bars.
And the crowd,
Let's
as you
check
can
out
tell,
the
really
release
into
again. She had the blind change. Jaeger, beautiful. You know, Katie competed every single meet last year for the Wildcats, and she stuck that one.
Coming through strong early on for the Cats. As we head back over, Janelle McClellan getting her first start in this meet. McClellan, a career high 9.825 on the vault.
There's another stick for the Buckeyes. Great vault. I'll tell you what, it's going to come down to sticks tonight. You know, we talk about this as we watch her vault. You know, this time of year, those little tiny deductions can make the difference between a first or second place, or whether you make it to regionals or nationals. So both teams are on it tonight, getting those stick crowns.
As we're going over back to the bars, it's going to be Ella Warren, the freshman, coming out of the Florida Elite program. She had a nice bars routine going back to against Arkansas on January the 12th. She had 9.875, 9.825 against Missouri last week, so she steals it.
Beautiful Jaeger above the bar. 2/10 bonus for that combination. The overshoot handstand. Sitting up for the dismount. You know, Ella came in early for Kentucky, came in January. Great double layout, it's a slight step. Came in January and started competing for Kentucky, and same thing Molly Korth did last year. Let's watch this release way above the bar, huge air time. Had to call air traffic control on that one, Clay.
You mentioned talking about transfers. That's really paid off well for Kentucky, as you mentioned Carlisle, and just stepping in so smoothly into the program. A lot of credit goes to head coach Garrison.
Great routine there for Ella.
As we head back over to Ohio State, Morgan Lowe, the top scorer last week on vault for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and that win against Bowling Green, looking pretty tough right out of the gate there.
Great execution on that vault. Again, I'd like to see it rise off the table a little more. For those watching, she's tumbling onto the vault table, but very nice execution. You know what the judges do is they sit there at their table, they compare, sometimes they'll put their pencil up vault to vault, who's getting the most air time off the table, and that is a determining factor sometimes in how they judge one vault against another.
Affectionately known as the Ice Queen by Leah Little, Haley Poland over to the bars.
Haley and her blue lipstick that always brings her and the rest of the Cats good luck.
She's had a really great all-around year for Kentucky. Especially on the beam.
Double layout, nice distance. Didn't quite stick that landing, and like I said, this time of the year, those are the things that make the difference in the meet sometimes. So let's look at that huge Ginger, but leg separation there, the judges will take that. Let's watch the dismount. Very nice above the bar. A little squatty on that landing. They'll hit her for that too, but otherwise a nice routine.
And here's Jamie Stone, one of the top performers for the Ohio State Buckeyes, competes in 3 different routines. You see that 9.75 average. Her career high is 9.85 on the vault.
Wow, that was solid as a rock. That's, if you want a classic stick on a video, right there you go. Let's watch this. Back handspring onto the table. Bam. Legs together.
We're going to go over to Katrina Coca, who really shines on the bars. 2 event wins this year, going back to Auburn, where she really stood out and got a 9.9 against the Tigers. Last week, she had a 9.825 against Missouri. This is really in her wheelhouse right here.
See if the Cats can keep it going with Katrina. The blind change. The release move, Jaeger. This is considered another release because you actually let go of the bar as you do that overshoot to handstand. It's hard to maintain your body position, so that's why a lot of athletes lose a 10th or 2 on that skill. That's why it has a 10th bonus. Full twisting double back, dismount. Let's watch again here. The blind change because you can't see the turn above the bar on the Jaeger. Like to see those toes pointed a little more. Let's look at this dismount, the full twisting double back. Just didn't get her chest up on that.
And we'll head back to the vault. Olivia Apel will step in for the Buckeyes. We saw her earlier do impressive work on the bars where she got a 9.8. See if she can follow up here on the vault.
That was a very nice vault. Other than that little hop, you know, we talked about previously, you know, the dynamics of the skill, whether it rises, whether it's clean, whether it has distance, and she had all of those things. Just that baby hop on the landing. Otherwise, a great vault for Ohio State.
To go back to the bars, the superstar, Alex Highland, SEC champion back in 2017 on the beam, but she's also performed very well on the bars. As you see, a 9.9 against Missouri. Just really performs well in every category for the Kentucky Wildcats.
I tell you, Alex has just been on a roll this year. She's just happy all the time, loves to compete. From what I understand from the coaches, she's always bringing her teammates up, and she's just having a great year. Full twisting giant, Ginger, little separation on the catch. Toe on. Let's watch for the dismount now. You see her cranking it up. More speed. Half in, half out. Beautiful.
You can always count on her to come through.
That was the full twisting giant to the Ginger. Like I said, a little loose on the catch. Judges will take that. Beautiful. Dismount.
Here's Alexis Mattern will come back over on the vault. She came in with a 9.825 against Bowling Green in Central Michigan in their last meet. It was last week on February the 25th. And just attacked that.
Haven't seen that in a while. Handspring front pike with a half.
Remember her being incredibly pumped up after her bars routine. She really brings the fire to Ohio State.
That's a front flip with a half. You see most of the girls are taking this backward entry now in the vault. That was a front handspring, so a little bit different look. It's Molly. We say good golly Miss Molly because she's been on fire for a couple of years. Beautiful pike. Overshoot the hand, little wobble. Molly, as we talked about, is a very dynamic athlete to watch. She's just very aggressive in all of her skills. Winding up the dismount. Full twisting double layout. I think she's going to like it.
It's tight early on, as you see on the scoreboard. So we get a second look.
Let's watch the dismount again. Full twisting, double layout. That's tell you what, it's routine for routine tonight.
And that will wrap us up for rotation number 2. We'll be back to recap rotation number 2 in just a moment, but it's Friday Night Heights coming back right with you on the SEC Network. Coliseum, it's the Kentucky Wildcats versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. Leah Little with me, I'm Clay Ables. We're going to recap rotation number 2 and start off with the vault. Ohio State came through pretty strong on that rotation.
I tell you what, you can tell by the look on her face. She knew before she landed that she had it. Great vault.
As we saw right there, that was Janie McClellan who came through in her first event and put up a 9.825 for the Ohio State Buckeyes. The top performer, as we look over towards the Kentucky Wildcats on the bar, is Molly Korth continuing that hot streak.
We talked about Molly being aggressive, full twisting, double layout dismount on a roll tonight.
You look back at her score, she had a 9.925, really leading the way for the Kentucky Wildcats. Top performer there, as it's a close one right now between Ohio State and Kentucky, right around a point. And we'll be back with the third rotation here from Memorial Coliseum, Lexington, Kentucky. It's Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. We're here with you on rotation number 3. Leah Little alongside me. I'm Clay Ables from Memorial Coliseum. Friday Night Heights in the SEC. We're going to start off with Kentucky as they're going to go on the beam, and it's been one of their strong suits this year. And we're going to check out their lineup that they're bringing out today. This is really where they show their solid threesome and just kind of bolt out later in the rotations. And Katie Stewart will be the one to lead the way, and she'll get going right now for the Kentucky Wildcats.
The Cats are ranked in the top 10 in every single event this year. They're ranked 8th on the balance beam. Katie's starting them off, and you know, usually you call your anchor the last person up in your lineup, but I always refer to the first person up on beam as the anchor because they have to set the pace for everybody else. If they have a good routine, then it really helps everybody else to kind of loosen up a little bit and just go for it. So Katie's that anchor person here for Kentucky, doing well so far.
Incredible
Sitting up
poise.
here for a flight series. Back hamstring, back layout, perfectly done. Very original, unique move. Judges like that. Getting ready for her leap combination to the dismount. Cat leap full. So we talked about start values again for people that don't understand. The routines don't start from a 10 unless you have a bonus. And Katie has bonus in her routine, so the judges will make her deductions from an actual 10.
An impressive start for Stewart as we go to the floor. Peyton Hindenburg will step in at 9.775 in her last performance against Bowling Green on the floor.
Floor exercise seems to be everybody's favorite from a fan's perspective to the athletes. They like to do floor, show their personality, enjoy dancing, get to pick their music. So it's the one event you can actually get out there and just let loose and have some fun. And she's cranking it now. Her teammates cheering her on with the OHIO, the famous Ohio State Buckeye Band. Double pike, her second pass, nicely done. Very unusual floor elements. You know, the judges do like to see level changes, which means down on the floor, using all aspects of the apparatus, not just back and forth. You got to make your routine stand out to the judges. Do something different, catch their eye, show some excitement, and obviously presentation and performance can score a lot of points.
Certainly performing well in the air.
Nice routine. Good opening for the Buckeyes. Let's go back and watch her tumbling again. The front full. Second pass, double pike. Nicely done. And then she finishes here,
Next up, the Fort
the
Kentucky
full
Molly
to the layout.
As we go back to Molly Korth, you mentioned her being on a hot streak, has scored not below a 9.75 throughout the whole month of February. She's been so locked in.
I just see an expression on Molly's face tonight that I haven't seen maybe lately. She just seems really excited and pumped to get into her last home meet here. And Molly competed that way last year, and hopefully she's on fire for the postseason.
With the Tom Petty music.
And we talked about this last week. She does the one arm back handspring to the layout step out, makes it 3/10 bonus. It's a little harder that way with one arm. Okay, a little balance error there, and she checked it, decided not to throw it, so she didn't risk the fall. She has a very difficult bonus series there, and that was the right decision. She just went for it again. Cat leap, switch leap to the back tuck. So that's one of the things we were talking about earlier. If there's a missed element and they don't connect it, the judges devalue the series. So if you're counting on 2 or 3/10 bonus and that happens to you, you're going to lose the whole connection. Double full dismount. Nice routine for Molly. Couple of balance errors there. We'll go back and look at it again. Let's look at this unusual flight series she has with the one arm back layout step out. Nicely done, balance check, but switch sleep, back tuck, nicely done.
As we head to the floor, it'll be Brooke Chesney, the freshman, a floor specialist, had a 9.825 against Bowling Green in Central Michigan in their last weekend tournament, and she's second in the order for the Buckeyes.
Anytime your freshman can come in and compete, that's a huge boost to your team. She just opened with a nice double pack there, getting ready for her second pass. Double tuck.
You mentioned about people being performers. She certainly seems the one that stands out as a performer.
All the athletes love doing floor, like I mentioned, and they can really just kind of loosen the nerves a little bit and just get out there and have some presentation and performance and have some fun. And I think the crowd enjoys watching floor, whether you're the home team or the away team. It's really kind of fun to watch. I used to tell my athletes, hey, the people are paying to come and see you just like a concert, so give them their money's worth.
She is certainly doing that right now.
Front full front layout, nicely done. I think her teammates know that. Now, one thing's important on floor routines, a lot of people may not understand from the judging aspect, is that the routines need to match the music. You know, one of the things that drives me crazy is when people are out there dancing and what they're doing doesn't match the level of the music, and that's important to notice. Front full front layout, last pass, very nice.
Here comes Haley Poland with a 9.85 average, coming in last week against Missouri, and she just owns the beam for the Kentucky Wildcats.
She does. She sure gets the crowd pumping with her vanilla ice. Like we said, we've been calling her the Ice Queen because she's getting it done. 3-element flight series. Oh no, we jinxed her.
It always seems to happen, whether it's at the free throw line or on the beam. The broadcasting jinx always comes through.
Man. But you'll notice, you know, when you have a mistake like that, you got to get back up and go. You never know when you have had to count that score. I've had that happen. So she's just a little bit off on her concentration tonight, but she's getting it back together. You know, after a fall, you've got to get that concentration back, finish your routine. It's hard sometimes when you feel like you've let your team down. But Kentucky's got a good, strong beam lineup, and hopefully Haley can finish strong and get it back together. I think I see a lot of the crowd bumping here to the ice music.
So recovering strong after a tough early fall on the beam is Haley Poland. As we get a second look on Poland's beam routine.
Let's watch this dismount. She does a pike gainer off the end. Nice dismount.
It's going to be Jamel McClellan stepping in on the floor. So we see a 9.775 on the floor. She's a really great bars routiner.
I tell you, after that vault, she should be fired up to have a great floor routine here. Double pike. Usually great vaulters are great tumblers. I don't know why that coincides, but it does. I think we're getting the crowd into this dance. Switch side, switch side. Difficult combination there. There's our OHIO again.
Getting the whole team involved.
That's right. Full front layout. Notice those buckeyes on their leotards. It's kind of a nice touch. Sparkly buckeyes. You know, there seems to be a national competition now of who can design the best leotards, but I've seen some outstanding leotards this year from all of the teams, and both of these squads look great tonight.
How much as a coach does that play, and how much do you have kind of in deciding? Well, is that more of a player's decision?
Well, you kind of get the team into it. You know, you kind of show them some designs that have been presented and let them pick what they like, but you always try to have them as part of it. Obviously, they have to wear it. If they don't like it, they don't want to wear it.
You got to get everybody on board. Did you see the OHIO over there in the corner?
That's right.
For McClellan.
Let's look at this pass. Front full, front layout. Nicely done.
On the beam, for the Cats, Corey.
You know, I had one of those nightmare times we wore these hot pink leotards for the first time, and after the first girl went, it was just not a good thing, and I made the whole team go in and change for the next.
Oh my gosh.
It was terrible.
I'm not that skilled fashion-wise to make those decisions. As we see Corey Reckenmacher, the senior, stepping out in the beam. She has one career win on the beam going back to 2016 against Arkansas, where she pulled a 9.9. Let's see if she can go out strong on senior night.
Front aerial. No, Corey's competed every meet last year. It's nice to see these seniors go out strong on their last home meet. Corey just has beautiful lines. Corey from Batavia, Illinois. Back handspring back layout. Just a little balance check. She really has nice lines up there. I enjoy watching her dance. It's the cat leap, switch sleep, split jump, 3-element combination. There's another pike gainer dismount. Nice routine for the senior, Corey.
As we look back at the flight series.
Again, back handspring, back layout, step out, little balance error there. And the pike gainer dismount.
As Olivia Apley steps back out, she was in the first two routines. She continually goes strong on the floor with a 9.825 average. Career high 9.875.
Opening pass here with a double tuck. Big step out of that. That'll cost her. Getting ready for a second pass here. Front acro pass, the front full front layout. You notice if we watch a replay there, just a little bit of position check that the judges will see. It wasn't a perfect layout. It's her dance combination. You know, some of these sports now, when the officials can go watch slow motion and decide what their call is going to be, that would be really difficult in this sport because slow-mo would really show a lot of things that the judges don't catch first time around. So
Plus, there's just such extreme movement to keep up with. It would be kind of take away from the flawlessness of the sport.
right, and sometimes it goes by so fast. I mean, these judges, you don't know how long and how many hours they put in studying and learning the sport. The rules and the technical aspect of this sport, the book is a couple inches thick and it changes every Olympic cycle. So some of these judges have done this their entire life, but it's very difficult to be a gymnastics official. Finishes with a pike double back, short on her landing, and not a great routine for her.
Usually very strong on the floor, but a tough break for Olivia Apel. As we get a second look.
Let's watch the front pass, the front full. Now let's look right here. Actually, it looked a little better in slow-mo, so second pass was good for her. The first and last one were not, as she took steps on her landing.
Maybe the top performer outside of Alex Highland on the beam is Sydney Dukes. 6 event wins in her career. Just recently against Alabama on February the 10th had 9.95.
Sydney's been a solid performer for Kentucky from Texas. She's come and brought a lot of life to this team. That is a perfectly done flight series. Back handspring layout. Beautiful front aerial. You know, Sydney and Alex, both of those young ladies really bring a lot of joy and happiness, I think, to this team. They just seem to be always smiling and enjoying what they're doing, and that's so important to have that kind of leadership on a team. 4.5 dismount, a stuck routine for Sydney.
And the Wildcats fans getting into it here late in this third rotation after a great performance from Sydney Dukes.
There's a flawless flight series from Sydney. Getting ready for the dismount, a 1.5. Stick. Good job.
Brooke Chesney early on for Ohio State was one of the top performers, but the top performer on the floor for the Buckeyes is Jamie Stone. We saw a 9.95 on the floor, a top flight performer for the Buckeyes.
I think you could tell from this music it's going to be a dynamic routine. Open with a double pike, stuck her landing. So these stuck landings are going to be very important as the score is so close between these two teams. A 10th here, a 10th there is going to make the difference. Let's look at her second pass here. Double full punch front, nice. You know, it's fun when the teams incorporate things that are important to their school. You know, the Gators have the Gator Chomp, the Buckeyes have the OHIO, and Kentucky sometimes puts the cat claw in there, so it's kind of fun to watch.
It really brings the whole team aspect together, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's finishing up with a double full and a half.
So living up to her expectations, Jamie Stone with a solid performance for the Buckeyes.
It's like the second pass, 2.5 punch front, very difficult. I love her teammate over there with the fur on, keeping herself warm.
I think that's a little bit for style too, isn't it?
Hey, it should be warm. They came south from Ohio, right?
Here's Alex Highland, the 2017 Beam champion in the SEC. She's had a great year thus far. She's going to finish out the last meet at home this season, sticking with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
I love the way these girls pick these songs that get the crowd into it. Cat leap, front aerial. Nicely done. Ready for the flight series. Back handspring, layout, step out. She always sings at this point. I think she relaxes after that flight series. So down on the beam. Full off. And she's glad to be off of there tonight safely.
A lot of pressure on that one.
That's right. Let's look at the flight series again. Back handspring, back layout, step out, and comes up singing.
Gets it right and balance with the routine. Did you see the strong dismount?
This side aerial to the dismount. Nicely done for Alex.
It's her Stephanie Merkel for Ohio State. She was tied for second best score on floor in their last match against Bowling Green in Central Michigan, and she'll round us out here for rotation number 3.
Got a close meet here, so full in. That's a D pass to open with, bonus for her. Very nice leap series, lots of amplitude, nice split position. Very nice second pass. Aggressive in all of her movements, her dance, her tumbling. Punch front. The athletes are required to do certain elements in all of their routines, but on floor, to tumble forward and backward, combine 2 salto pass in their tumbling. Here comes her last pass, double tuck. Of course, a little balance check there on the landing, but a fun routine.
And that was Stephanie Merkel. As we'll look back at her last pass.
Your touch warm-up begins in 2 minutes.
Double tuck. See where she was just a little loose on that landing.
And that was the end of the 3rd rotation. We'll be back with you to recap the 3rd rotation. Friday Night Heights here from Lexington, Kentucky on the SEC Network. Kentucky versus Ohio State. Leah Little with me, I'm Clay Ables. We're going to look back at some of the rotations. It's first, Alex Highland did a great job on the beam for the Cats.
You know, we talked about bonus. Back handspring, back layout. She has lots of bonus in her beam routine. If she connects it all,
And here's
she
Sydney
starts way
Dukes
above a 10. Sydney, same way, beautifully.
on the beam. For Ohio State, they were on the floor and played pretty solidly, but a few little mistakes there. Brooke Chesney and Jamie Stone. Final rotation between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Kentucky Wildcats. We're going to start off on the beam side here for the Buckeyes to check out their lineup. Stephanie Merkel will lead the way. She just came off the floor with a solid performance. Leah Little with me, I'm Clay Ables. It's a very tight one here, 1 point differential in between. Talk about for the beam performance here. How tough is this being the away team trying to come out strong in this 4th rotation?
When you're behind, it's really tough to be the visiting team and having to do this final rotation on beam. We talked about the closeness of the meet, and every 10th was going to make a difference. Unfortunately for the Buckeyes, they made mistakes on floor, and now that's putting them in the catch-up position on the beam as the visiting team. Home team on the floor, they're going to have the crowd behind them, so the Buckeyes need to perform strong.
So here's Stephanie Merkel for you, which is just coming off the floor with a 9.8.
Flight series there, back hamstring, back layout, nicely done. it's really nice to see the athletes working aggressively on the beam. Beam in the age group level, and some athletes make it a very boring event to watch. So whenever you can make it exciting and dynamic and aggressive, it's really makes your routine stand out. Switch side, that's a very difficult element. And I encourage the young athletes watching tonight that, if you're going to be great on the beam, to start practicing now, being aggressive. Work those skills on the floor and do it just like you would if you were doing your floor exercise routine. Let's look at her flight series again. 2-element flight series. Back handspring, back layout. And the gainer, pike off the end.
As we go over to the top all-around scorer, or one of the top all-around scorers for the Kentucky Wildcats, is Haley Poland. A great floor scorer.
I think she will bounce back after that beam routine. She loves to perform. Punch front, Rudy. I really enjoy her music.
I was going to say, she goes with a very different music than most performers.
Little conga going. She loves to perform. You can just really see it. Do those dance elements in between your tumbling passes to try to catch your breath a little bit. Get ready for her second pass. Beautiful leap series there. Straddle jump. She's working it now.
I mentioned doing the cat claw earlier to get the team involved.
Gotta have the cat claw. If you notice her elements on the floor, sometimes gymnasts use that to rest, where she's really moving around aggressively, so she's not resting when she's on the floor. Punch front, Rudy. It's a great pass. Let's watch her again. She's a twister for sure. Buckeyes on the beam.
Here's Jenna Schwarzenstruber, known for her bar skills. Around 9.875 on the bars, but she also does very strongly on the beam.
Oh, saved it. Now, we talked about the fall versus the huge balance error like that. It's almost the same as the fall. She reached down and grabbed the beam. She leaned towards one side, then the other. So the judges will take almost, if not the same as a fall. Drop that shoulder on the punch front, which hurt her there as far as her balance after that skill. Switch sleep. A very pretty athlete to watch. Nice dance. Gainer full off the side. She knows. Good effort there.
It's a tough run there for Schwarzenstruber, who's done so well for the team today.
There's that front. You see where the left shoulders just dropped down, and that's why she lost her balance there. Gainer full dismount.
Here's Ella Warren, the freshman, coming back out. She had a 9.875 against Missouri last week. Usually works on bar and floor, but as a freshman, she's really been a great contributor to the team.
Well, we talked about Ella coming in early in January to make a contribution to this Kentucky team. And she's really done well coming in as a freshman, same as Molly Korth did for Kentucky last year. Ella has very dynamic music and moves here on the floor. No, it's really difficult to come in mid-year when you don't know anybody and step in that lineup. Beautiful, beautiful dance series there. Tumbling pass. Very nice. Comes your last pass. And full front layout. Good routine for Ella.
So we go back to the second pass here on this look.
Twist to the back layout, that's hard to do. You have to land it just perfectly. And the full front layout last pass. I think she'll score well with that.
Here's Morgan Lowe for Ohio State. Second routine she's been in today for the Buckeyes. Earlier on vault, 9.6 average on beam.
Sitting up for her acro series, the back handspring back layout. You notice a lot of the athletes are doing the back handspring back layout. You really want to push towards a 3-element flight series or something that's a little different from what everyone else is doing if you want your routine to stand out. But obviously if you can do what you do and do it flawlessly, you'll still score as well. But you're trying to accumulate those bonus points or again, make your routine stand out more than someone else. Side aerial there. The cat leap, the switch side. I don't think people really realize how difficult balance beam is. I used to pull someone out of the audience and make them get up there, and most people can't even just walk across it without losing their balance. All right, she made it through. She's happy. Let's look at the dismount again. Round off, full and a half.
On the floor for the Cats, Corey Reckenmacher.
So 2 good performances out of 3 for Ohio State on the beam as we'll go down back to the floor where Corey Reckenmacher will have her final routine here at Memorial Coliseum as a Kentucky Wildcat, going to her strong suit on the floor.
Corey's had a good night so far and close out her career at home here at Kentucky with her floor routine. Switch ring leap, 3-element dance series there. That will score well for her with bonus. Bring a little Beatles into it here.
People like to throw in the throwback music, seems to really get the crowd most into it.
Well, sometimes, you know, when you're picking your music, you want to, we talked about before, pick something unusual or different or somebody that's going to catch the attention of the judges and not a song you've heard 1,000 times in age group competition, which that happens. Double pike. Good routine for Corey.
Way to finish out.
Her teammates coming out to congratulate her on her last routine here at home. Let's look at that first pass Corey did again. Punch front to the double tuck, double salto series. Great job for Corey.
As we'll bet back to the beam, and it's Jamie Stone, who just came off a 9.8 on the floor, keeping right around that average on the beam with a 9.725.
Now watch Jamie on the floor. I really liked her presentation, and typically if they do that well on the floor, they do it well on the beam, and you're kind of seeing that already. Entry back layout again. Beautiful lines for a gymnast. Cat leap switch side. She's got a good routine going so far, so if she can finish strong here, it'll be a nice score for the Buckeyes. Good dismount. And one thing people may not understand that the judges look at, you're not allowed to stand there more than 2 seconds before you do a skill. I think she stood there a little long before the dismount, but nevertheless did a great dismount.
And
Coach is happy.
Coach is happy, and Alex Highland will step out onto the floor. Really came through against Missouri. Saw there at 9.925 out of Foxborough, Massachusetts. She's from Patriots country, but doing her work down here in Kentucky.
You know, I noticed that. I wonder if she's a Brady fan.
Tough year for the Super Bowl.
I'll tell you what, he's the GOAT.
No doubt about that.
Well, maybe Highland could be the GOAT here in Kentucky. There's only 2 people that have scored higher in the all-around here in Kentucky. So she's well on her way to making a name for herself in the record books. She's got a good all-around scoring going tonight. If she can finish strong here on 4, that was a great dance series for her. She's doing a little mambo for us. You know, the judges are smiling. That's always a good sign.
Interesting you said going with the rewind.
That's right. You know, we talked about doing unusual things, and this is definitely something different. I don't think a lot of people pick up that she does that. Let's see if she can finish strong now. She's getting the crowd pumped up with the fist pump. Absolutely. Let's take a look at some of her tumbling again. Opening with beautiful double pike. Just a bitty balance error there. About a 10th deduction. 4.5 front layout in the middle. Nicely done. I think that'll be a good score for her.
Here comes Amanda Huang. Her best performance is on the beam with a 9.825. She was on bars earlier and got a 9.7. Ohio State really needed some strong performances here late in the match.
See, that's those little balance errors we talked about. It's not huge, but when you are a 10th or 2 in competition with the next team, it adds up over 4 events.
To make the difference between winning and losing.
Right. I saw the national championship lost by like 100th of a point once. That hurts. You know, and you think about these athletes at this level are scoring 9.8s, 9.9s. You've got to find these little tiny corrections that you can fix in order to improve their score, and that's very difficult. It's a split jump to the ring jump. That's a blind landing. We talked about that. It's a very difficult skill because of the blind landing, and therefore you get a D element bonus skill out of it. Dismount. That's a stick. Buckeyes are happy.
And they're so close here late, right around a point differential as we look back at Huang's performance.
Teammates are happy. Buckeyes needed that. There's Miss Smiley Face.
2017 all first teamers, you mentioned, from Texas, Robert E. Lee High School. Ever since her freshman year, she's been all SEC, and this is really one of the areas where she shines.
Well, you know, the SEC is a pretty tough conference. They've won 10 of the last 11 national championships. Kentucky's in 4th place in the SEC right now. Sydney's one of the top competitors for Kentucky and an all-SEC competitor. Beautiful double pike opening. She can turn it on. Beautiful switch ring. We talked about Sydney's switch ring last week and how it's almost technically perfect on the beam and the floor. Beautiful dance. Play out again. You kind of feel within yourself when you've got a good routine going on. You kind of know. And look at that. She's a ham.
She loves to perform.
I tell you what, being a ham will score you some points, that's for sure. Strong finish here for Sydney, and she'll score well. Double tuck, stuck landing. She is happy. Look at that smile. All right, that's a strong, strong finish.
We go back to the second pass for Dukes.
Full front layout, and she's happy with that.
And we'll finish up for Ohio State on the beam with Caitlin Hoffland, one of the star performers for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Was last seen on the bars with a 9.75, on vault as she heads over to the beam. And three routines today for Ohio State.
Well, that fall that hurts. And like I say, it's really difficult to be the visiting team on beam, especially when you're trying to play catch up in a meet. It just puts a lot of pressure on every athlete up there. Twisting back handspring, very difficult. She was a little loose on that, and that's why she kind of bobbled out of it, but it's also a very difficult skill. Drop that arm on the switch sleep. That's what cost her the balance error on that. It's a gainer full dismount off the end. You know, we talk about core training in all sports, but in gymnastics it's so important that the athletes just keep the middle tight, and especially on balance beam where just a very tiny mistake can make you fall.
And we'll finish the meet with Molly Korth. What a year she's had, going back to last week against Missouri. She won the bars title and tied her career high with a 9.925 on the floor. She's been really solid as well with 5 event wins. Have won earlier this year against Auburn on January the 20th, the 9.95.
Molly didn't compete all around last week. Coach Garrison decided to rest her. Double tuck. But she is cranking it out tonight. I tell you what, her and Highland in the all-around are just a dynamic duo for Kentucky this year, and are just cranking out score after score, routine after routine, and beautiful dance series there. She's happy. Now she can have some fun. Molly is one of those dynamic performers we talked about, aggressive in everything she does. Very nice. Some unusual dance there. You know, kind of at this point, what they're thinking, they know they've got a good score going or a good routine going if they finish strong. Last pass for Molly. Double pike. A little short on that landing, but a nice routine. She can relax now.
She seemed pretty strong on that one as we look back.
It's a double tuck that was huge. This is the Rudy to the back layout, step out. Great routine from Molly.
And that will wrap us up for the fourth rotation. We'll be back with the final scores and more here from Lexington, Kentucky. It's Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. It's the recap here from Lexington, Kentucky, Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the post-game here between the Kentucky Wildcats and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Kentucky coming out on top over Ohio State, 196.775 to 195.775. Leah Little alongside me. I'm Clay Ables. It was a great matchup here. There was a lot on the line for Nationals, and Kentucky came through at home.
I'll tell you what, Ohio State looked great on bars involved. It was really close meet, but then as we talked about, those little things made the difference in the meet. Kentucky's really trying to improve their seed for the SEC Championship, make it into that evening session, and of course, on the road to Nationals.
It should be a great way to look back, and the top performer for the Kentucky Wildcats was Molly Korth. She really came through today for the Cats.
Molly's had a great season all along. Beautiful vault there, you see, the 1.5. Beautiful. So Molly's had a great year on the bars. I'm sorry, all the way around on her vault, on her floor. She's had a great all-around score tonight, and her and Highland are back in it as a dynamic duo.
You see, it was a great performance here of Kentucky. They finished with 2 straight wins on the season, breaking Ohio State's 5 in a row. A lot left to come into with the season of Nationals, and the SEC will follow that along the way. But senior night here for Corey Reckenmacher and Katie Carlisle. But Kentucky gets the win over Ohio State, 196.775 to 195.775. For Leah Little, I'm Clay Ables. Thank you for tuning in to Lexington, Kentucky Memorial Coliseum. The Kentucky Wildcats with the win over Ohio State. Thank you for tuning in to Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network.